pleasure to introduce Dr. Briana Dunn. I never could wait to be able to say that. Briana comes to us from Cornell University, where she got her first degree, and is now getting ready to leave Stanford after having spent close to 5 years over here. If you read her dissertation title in your handouts, you'll see a complicated name. So I'll try and simplify what Briana has accomplished in her research as part of her doctoral thesis. My lab is interested in how nature makes antibiotics and what we as engineers can learn from it. And Briana has been particularly interested in a class of antibiotics called polypeptides that are made on large enzymatic assembly lines. These are molecular assembly lines analogous to what you might see in a General Motors assembly line plant. And they involve dozens of very complex enzymes working with each other to make and break a number of bonds that give rise to antibiotics that we all use. And so the antibiotic Briana was working on was erythromycin, which I suspect many of you have used. Briana's challenge was to look at a class of enzymes in this assembly line, which we think of as gatekeepers. They are the ones that pick building blocks from the outside world of a cell and assemble them into the very complicated molecules that we use as antibiotics. And so in doing so, she developed methods to pull out these gatekeeper enzymes, to be able to look at their atomic structures, to be able to engineer them in really exquisite ways, and put them back into the assembly line to see what happens. She's developed tools and approaches that come from the world of computational and experimental protein engineering. She has developed fundamental enzymological approaches to study these enzymes of the highest caliber. She has authored, as in our world, the primary currency of scientific accomplishment is strong publications in top journals. In that context, Briana has already written and published 3 papers and thus far in her thesis, and she's by no means done. So that summarizes to you about half of what this amazing young woman has accomplished. The other half is Briana, the amazingly gifted teacher. I think it would not be an overstatement to say that there are more people under this tent who owe a debt of gratitude to Briana for the induction into the world of chemical engineering than any other person. Briana was the teaching assistant for a class that is general for 2 years. She was the teaching assistant for a class called Introduction to Chemical Engineering, which I suspect all of your offspring and siblings back there took. And believe you me, they are chemical engineers today in spite of me and because of Briana. And in acknowledgement, in celebration of her accomplishments and her contributions to the education of our students, Briana was awarded the Centennial Teaching Assistant Award this year. So Briana, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the ranks of the doctorate. I should add, Briana will be moving on. Next year, she'll be teaching chemical engineering at San Jose State University while she prepares for her postdoctoral studies.